Hello, everybody. I hope you all enjoy the conference. Hope you're doing all great. So before we move on, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Vitaly Golomozy. I am an architect at Magento ECG. And my friend and my colleague Anton Kapля is a senior software engineer and an author of the idea and approach that we'll show you today. Let me first briefly discuss an agenda. So in general, we had some interesting requests, in our opinion, from our customers that we were working, that we faced with, and we come up with some original idea how to solve it, and we will go into present it. So I will give you just a general introduction into that, maybe some business use case, and Anton will show you the full technical details. Of course, we won't have enough time to cover the all complexity of the technical implementation, but at least I think you will get an idea of how that works. And what we did is actually a research, so it's not something complete, but some fresh ideas that I hope you all will enjoy. So we will start with background. So what was actually the problem we were working on? Continue with the business use case, concrete merchant, concrete setup, concrete requests and requirements about that. And then we will proceed with our approach, so how we build an overall architecture of that. Then we will go with a concrete solution and finish with a small wrap-up. So this is a plan for today. So about ourselves, who are we? We represent in Magento ECG, is a department of Magento which works with our clients, with our solutions partners, with everybody in Magento ecosystem to enable them with most difficult solutions, problems that they have, whatever, make sure that ecosystem works well and our merchants and our solution partners are successful. So in case you have anything, we will be more than happy to work with you on that. So that's what we're doing. And of course, while doing that, we face with a huge amount of different situations, working with solution partners, with customers. We've seen a lot of different requests come back and forth. We've seen issues that concrete customers may have on their own installations. And so we have this experience. And from time to time, we get in some requests, doing some investigation in the most interesting areas, in the most challenging areas, in our opinion, and come up with some solutions or ideas how that could be solved. And this is exactly the case that we will be presenting today. What is the business use case? Was it we get from a couple of merchants? So it was pretty big merchants. So it was huge catalogs, 100 SKUs and more. It could be 1 million SKU and more, many websites. So pretty big installations. And for these merchants, they were really looking for some merchandising tool. By merchandising tool, I mean something that allows you to test your product configuration, to test your content. And even so, it's mostly about content, about catalog, about products, and things like that. However, that should be really flexible and allows you to do everything. And this is pretty straightforward requirement, but it has two very concrete sub-requirements of how this could be done. For such big and huge installations, it's very important to have, first of all, great performance of that. So you should have no impact on the front-end customers. So the consumers, the users of your website should never feel that you're doing something, doing some merchandising, that you're testing your products, that you're testing your content or doing whatever else. It should be completely, it's very clear, because on such a huge instance, even small impact in a couple of percent may cause huge money lost, which is not the case. Second requirement is flexibility. So merchants having that big instance, he needs really flexible solution that allows them to take any sort of content they need, put them in some merchandising environment, test it somehow, work with it, play with it, and it should be really flexible for them. So they should be able to test different configuration, different set of data, different content. Even so, it's primarily about products and catalog, but potentially it could be whatever else. It could be promotions, it could be customers, it could be anything. So what did we do? A couple of words about general approach, so like general points that we were stated on, not touching the solution itself. So first, we made a decision about data isolation. So we decided that since we have that problem, since we have that strict requirement about performance, we will completely isolate merchandising data. In which way, it's another question. It's question Anton will cover that, but this is a big solution that decision that we will take them away. So they should not be stored in the same way, in the same data structures, in the same storage as production data. Second one, flexibility. We need to create a tool that gives merchant an ability somehow to specify which exactly data you will use. And in our case, it will be some tool, something like UI that converts your request to MySQL query that says which exact tables and which exact records you would like to merchandise. The next one is about tracking changes. This is a big one. So applying changes, figure out what exactly was changed and where is a big issue. And we made a decision, so we will do sort of versioning of the changes we did on our merchandising environment to be absolutely sure what exactly needs to be applied, to not move unnecessary data back and forth. So it was like a big decision, so we're doing versioning, so we keep changes which happen exactly at the moment they happen. And the last one, there are really different situations about applying data. So different scenarios when different data should have different priorities. You may change product here and you may change it here, so which one should be more important? In different cases, it's different scenarios should be applied. You may delete the product, but you may update it on the merchandising environment. What should we do in this case? So there are really different business cases of how that should work, and so we decided that we have to take it into account and make sure that we can apply different techniques and we can create different apply mechanisms for different possible situations. So that's pretty much all about my part, and I give a microphone to my colleague about concrete technical implementation, and I will come back and do some wrap up at the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vitaly. Let's go in deeply to our investigation, and we need to start from data isolation. Why data isolation? Because in case if you store your data for merchandising in one storage, anyway, it will affect system performance. Anyway, you will able to get some phantom products or phantom operation which does not complete yet. And you plan to change something in this product, and it's valuable, I think. It's a simplest solution that you can use. Use separate tables with same structure. It's quite simple to implement, and this solution provides to your ability manage your merchandising data separately from production data without affecting production performance. In which way it become possible? Probably you know about methods get table name in image core resource. This is class exists from beginning of Magento, and not from beginning exists event that's provide for your ability substitute any tables in Magento. It's quite simple. Try to find it after presentation. You will find that you easily can use it for your own goals in Magento, and it is so simple how it's possible. We decided that we want to use common for Magento UI for all operation for merchandising without implementing new forms, new interfaces, even without new logic. And all that we done for this task, we use this method, use this event, give to the put to this event our table mapping. In this case, Magento start to working with new staged merchandising data without affecting base system performance. Okay, about tracking changes. We know that exist a lot of possible Magento extensions. Some of them use native Magento ways for updating products, some of them not. And we wanted to be sure that we can track all changes inside Magento. By this reason, we go deeply to database and define for us two ways for tracking changes in database. Let's briefly describe them. First of all, this is a way you can track changes in database via MySQL binary log. Exists a few presentations in internet. You can find it, even ready examples on GitHub, in which way you can create some handler for MySQL binary log, log changed information and manipulate with this data. It's a good solution for a high-loaded system, but exists one more. You can use simple triggers. Probably you already heard that Magento 1.13 has some common to this solution. And I hope it will be simple for understanding in Magento after this version, even before. Okay. Using these triggers, we can collect all changes in our staged environment without affecting on performance. Because, of course, all triggers a little affect on performance, but those triggers exist only on staging environment. And they, in any way, can affect on performance of your base system. On your base system, customer can order anything in same time that you try to import a huge amount of products, for example. Also, sorry, forgot one valuable point. Also for preventing, sorry, let's go to applying. We implement few ways for applying. Why we implement few ways for applying? Exist a lot of business cases that we need to cover. We cannot implement super apply methods for all customers because all customers are different, you know, and all customers has their own needs in business and needs in Magento logic. For this, we using tracked data, implement mechanisms for applying this data from staged environment into production. One point I need to add, we was so lazy, we don't want to implement anything about logic in Magento, on Magento side, and we don't want thinking in which way we can fix problem with collision between IDs. We simply divided them by MySQL increment steps, and it's work finally for Magento and can be easily defined in Magento configuration. To be sure that we have unique IDs in all staged environments, we even create something like a sequence. Who knows what does a sequence mean in databases? Not in MySQL. This is a tool which provides the ability to sequentially enumerate IDs in different tables. And in our case, we put this sequence on staged tables, and all these staged tables, entities in these staged tables, has unique IDs. And it's a good point for applying, because when we start in applying, we haven't any same IDs in any snapshot. We can simple merge this data into one without any logic for resolving collision. I hope it's a good solution. Okay, let's start to review apply methods that we are prepared. And first of them, this is the simplest approach for apply and update. When we know all about data changes, we can simply define what data need to be updated on production during applying. This use case shows that we simply get the changes from our log and run them on production. It takes for a few seconds, even for huge catalogs, because this approach provides to work only with changed data. It's very variable for performance, and this provides the ability prepare data before applying it on Magento production environment. But what's wrong in what is specific in this way? This way gives more priority for production changes. In case if production has some critical changes, product deleted, for example, this product will not be moved from a staged environment to production. Because this, we implement one more methods which cover this case. Message replay, rewrite, which provide an ability apply data with priority to staged data. During this applying, data from staged environments will be moved to production, even this data already was deleted on production. And the last one, message replace, which provides an ability simply replace one catalog with another. In case if you have a few catalogs for different seasons, for example, summer collection, winter collection, you can easily replace those catalogs by this method. So it's quite simple, and I hope it's very useful. And one more point. Because we know all changes, you know that data appears on production only after reindexing. Only after that reindex runs, data appears on production. Our approach knows about all data changes, and when we start reindexing, we know all products that we need to reindex. And in this way, we solve performance issue with reindexing of everything after a huge amount of changes. Probably it's all, and I return microphone to my colleague Vitaly.
I will do a quick wrap-up about what we were covering today, and we will have some time for Q&A. So as an ECG, as a consultant department of Magento, we face with many different customers with some difficult business cases and technical cases, and see different challenging requirements, I would say. One of them was to create this merchandising tool, merchandising experience for our merchants with extremely large catalogs and difficult configuration. The requirement was performance. That performance on the front should not be affected by our solution. And second was about flexibility, that any type of data could be put onto the merchandising environment. So we decided to isolate the data first, which will solve performance issue. We decided to track any changes that we have in. So we will have sort of logging of changes, which gives us extremely powerful tool of applying on the data which were changed. Even a huge catalog, even if you put a huge amount of data to the merchandising environment, but you only change couple of products or couple of any content you work with, it will apply only only that ones that were really changed, which is pretty cool. We created that tool we created that UI that allows you to select only that data that you really need, concrete records in the database that you need, and it's it's a pretty complicated UI actually, but it still works and allows you to do that. And we implemented all the things by having separate tables for the isolated data, which happens to be pretty easy by having that event that Anton just shown. We used MySQL triggers to track any changes, and this is amazing idea. We should all thank Anton to that, because it works on the table level. It doesn't matter which entity you're working with. Is it product, customer, whatever else, category. Because it works on table level, it can track change to any sort of data you have, and then an extremely easy way to apply the data back. I believe it's a great idea. And at the end of the day, we created a couple of applying mechanisms, which allows us to handle different business situations about priorities, about different business scenarios that could be also a requirement. So that's pretty much all. Again, some reminder about ourselves. We are Magento ECG. There are some useful links, magentocommerce.com/consulting, or if you didn't understand something, magento.com/training. You can also contact us by email, consulting@magento.com, or directly by our emails. And you can find us at Ask Magento corner right there. so we will be more than happy to answer any questions if you have, or assist you with anything you have, if you have something, and hope you enjoy the presentation. Thank you very much, and if you have any questions, it's a good time now. Thank you.